We all chase it, that perfect, airy, crisp, and flavorful pizza crust that seems impossible to achieve at home. But the secret is not just hot. It is knowing your oven dome is a scorching 180 degrees hotter than the floor it sits on. This extreme temperature differential is the engine that creates the iconic leopard spotting on a Neapolitan crust. Mastering this temperature system from the dome to the floor is the single most important factor for a truly crustified pizza. In the next few minutes, we'll cover the physics of heat, the chemistry of dough, and the techniques that bring it all together. So, what is really happening in there? Your oven uses two types of heat at once: radiant heat from the fiery dome and conductive heat from the stone floor. For Neapolitan style, the numbers are extreme. You're aiming for a dome temperature of 850 to 950 degrees and a floor from 750 to 800 degrees. The classic dome shape is not just for looks. It is a parabolic reflector. It focuses radiant heat evenly down onto the pizza. To get that floor hot enough, you need to heat soak the oven. This takes 45 minutes to 2 hours to fully saturate the thermal mass. Skipping this step is the #1 cause of a soggy bottom. The top cooks, but the floor is not hot enough to crisp the base before the top burns. Now that we understand the heat environment, let's see why it forces such a dramatic reaction from the dough. When the dough hits that scorching floor, the water inside instantly turns to steam, which rapidly inflates the dough. This is oven spring. This effect is supercharged by high hydration dough, typically 60–70% water. More water means more steam, which means a more dramatic puff. This entire process happens in just 60 to 90 seconds. The crust sets on the outside before the interior has time to dry out, locking in a tender crumb. Simultaneously, the intense dry heat triggers the Maillard reaction. This creates hundreds of toasty, nutty, and savory flavor compounds. At the same time, sugars in the dough are rapidly caramelizing, adding a layer of sweetness that balances the savory flavors. So, what does it look like when all this science goes right? You get this. This is leopard spotting. Many beginners think these dark spots are a mistake. But in Neapolitan pizza, this is the sign of a master at work. Each spot is a tiny bubble on the dough's surface that puffed up closer to the radiant heat of the dome, charring slightly and creating intense flavor. You cannot get these spots without proper dough development. Long, cold fermentation creates the complex bubble structure needed for this to happen. We know what perfect heat looks like and what it does to the dough, but how do you actively manage it during the cook? This is not a set-it-and-forget-it oven. Constant management is needed. Let's cover two vital techniques. First, the myth of the embers. You do not cook over a bed of coals. You need a small, active, licking flame for intense radiant heat. Second, your oven is not evenly heated. It has hot spots, especially near the fire. Therefore, constant rotation is non-negotiable. For a 90-second bake, you should be turning the pizza a quarter turn every 20 to 30 seconds. This ensures every side gets equal exposure. So, that is how you manage the heat. Maintain an active flame for radiant heat and rotate the pizza for even cooking. But there is one more surprising factor: dough pH. Long fermentation lowers the dough's pH, which can actually slow down the Maillard reaction, resulting in a paler crust. Let's put it all together. Recall the two types of heat? The conductive heat from the floor drives the oven spring, creating structure. Meanwhile, the radiant heat from the flame and dome drives the Maillard reaction in leoparding, creating flavor and color. And the bonus from all this speed? It perfectly melts cheese without making it greasy, and keeps toppings like tomatoes and basil fresh and vibrant. So, achieving a crustified pizza is not about one tip. It is about understanding the system, how your dough prep and oven physics work in harmony. So recall the 3 pillars. First, master your heat, the 180-degree difference between floor and dome. Second, understand your dough. And third, perfect your technique, managing the live flame and constantly rotating for that even perfect bake. Temperature management is not just a step. It is the entire conversation between you, your dough, and your oven. Now you have the knowledge. Go fire up your oven and crustify your perfect pizza. Let us know how it goes in the comments.